All right, what is up, everyone? Welcome to the Spoiler Kings. My name is Tink Kramer. I am with Brian the Grizzly, and we are going to do our review, spoiler review of Echo. All the episodes came out, all 5 episodes came out, and yeah, people got a lot of different opinions about it. It seems like most people either love it or hate it. You
It's
know,
funny
so
that it came out. The numbers that it came out with was huge. So I think Disney noticed that their initial numbers were amazing. The viewership of Echo
for the
is
viewership,
huge.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
huge.
I think it was the number one show on Disney Plus, since the release.
Mm.
Rotten Tomato scores aren't the best. Like technically, it's the second worst MCU show, which I don't know if it deserves that or not,
I don't
but
know.
we'll definitely get into that.
That's critics. Critics
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and people that are toxic sometimes don't understand what they're going for, and I, that's something I want to talk about with Echo is the cultural effect and the cultural meaning and understanding someone else's culture is not the same as your culture and how important certain things are just because it's cultural. And they actually see it in film or in on a TV in a major way with Marvel is important. And
yeah,
I think that really gets to the heart of episode 5.
yeah,
Even
yeah.
though I do think it has some problems.
Yeah, it's not a perfect show. It's not the greatest MCU show, don't get me wrong. It's definitely not Secret Invasion bad. you know, but yeah, when it comes to rating, I don't know, man. I don't know where I can rate it compared to other MCU shows. Just because some are so high. But yeah, like you said, it has some issues for sure, has some issues. But yeah, let's get into some of the good. We'll get into the bads, and then we'll start off with the goods, and then we'll give our rating at the end. But yeah, it's full spoilers. So if you haven't watched it and you don't want to get spoiled, then hit pause, go watch it, and come back. But yeah, just spoiler warning. All right, what you got, Brian? What you like about this one?
All right, good. I think I actually like the character. I like American Sign Language in it. I love the connection you can have with the character and understanding the family connection, and then the dissociation with that family when you take that thing away, how it affects someone long term, and then the Stockholm syndrome, right? Because this person who did cause this to you becomes your family. You fall in love with that person basically, not in a romantic way, but in a family type of way. That was
Mm-hmm.
interesting. So like, there's so many, and then the character going back, losing that part of herself because she was for 20 years she was going away from this. She's Choctaw Indian, go away from the reservation. Losing that for 20 years, and then be able to reconnect with Bonnie, reconnect with Chula, reconnecting with the entire family. Um, I enjoyed that journey. I enjoyed the per, the diving into what their storytelling and how where this tribe came from and who are the matriarchs and how they came out of the caves, and the whole storyline was so good, and how you can mix in someone's culture with the story and give us something new. And I thought that is very well done, and showed the importance of it and had respect for it. So it's not just like you did it respectfully, to the point that it was on it was on their website,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh yeah.
so on their website, so that they know it really had respect for it. I think that is huge, but I think a lot of people have hate on it because it's not what I'm used to for a comic book movie, but a comic book show, but it's different. If Echo was not a Marvel thing, this would be one of those really great TV shows that people were like, "Did you see that? I didn't see anything about this. I didn't know anything about this." If this just came out on Netflix and it just had nothing to do with Marvel, people would have been really loving it. But because it's a Marvel, now it has to be comic book accurate. It has to be all these things, and I think they missed out. They missed out
Mm.
on something that was really important. And it's a psychological point, it's a trauma point, it's a cultural point, When you have all those things in one TV show in 5 episodes, and I feel like I got good the main character, I got a lot of that main character, understanding who she is. That's great. I think it's really, really well done. So those are my goods.
Yeah. Yeah. And then real quick, we got a professor said, I agree. I love the culture aspect of Echo as well as a few Twilight saga cast members. So there you go. That's cool. And then Xavier said the good Maya's relationship with Bonnie, seeing scenes from Maya's perspective and the supporting cast. And I'm kind of there with what you said, Brian, and what Xavier's saying here. The actress who plays Maya was really good. I really enjoyed her. She knew, like, just like, I don't know, like, she knew how to make connections. Her and the chemistry with Bonnie was really good. You know, her and this anger with Chula was really interesting, you know. And like I said, full spoiler, the part where she has like a conversation with her mom towards the end.
Oh my god.
Oh, that was so good.
Oh,
because it catches you off guard. And then I remember watching it, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's her mom? I'm like, oh, it was the bird. And I'm like, oh my god, like, she's talking to her mom, you know. And the whole scene was like, oh, I love you, blah. And everything she says was like,
and then the importance of the armor that you're going to put on, and and even when Chula finally sat down, talked to her, and talked about the importance of ancestors and the way they would go to the American Sign Language was so awesome. I was loving that part. Like, it was so good.
And everyone in the freaking movie was signing. You know, at least all the Native Americans, everyone part of her tribe was definitely signing, which is super cool. Yeah. And then Chill said he got a question. You know, since we're spoiling, did anybody die?
A lot of people that are like random guys. random people died.
I'm thinking that main characters. No.
But random dudes did die. The guy who cleaned the skates, oh yeah, he died.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's some problems with some of the very minor characters, you know, and the way they die.
Some people at the beginning, you know.
Yeah. But any main character you're thinking of, no one dies. Yeah. So, but yeah, I thought, Maya with that, the whole vibe of it, I thought was really, really good. The backstory, the way it started was, were you seeing these like, you weren't sure what they were, aliens or creatures, or like, what were they? And they're in this weird looking cave drinking the water, and then they become like the Native Americans of the original Native Americans of that tribe. And it was just like, that was super cool. It's
like you were in one place, and you actually transferred into this other plane of existence.
Yeah. It was so cool. It was really, really cool. And then the flashback scenes I thought were really well done. There was the old timey one where no one spoke, and you would have the cue card kind of pop up to explain what's going on. That was really well done. I really enjoyed that. I thought it was gonna be kind of stupid. I was like, it was good. The one thing, it doesn't go on forever. Like, it knows it needs to be short and quick and tell a little story, and it does it really well. But this has a lot of emotion into it. I'll give it that. This show had a lot of emotion at times.
Trauma. The trauma is just huge.
A lot of family, trauma. So, but yeah, and everything with what you said.
You know what? Also, I gotta say, when we saw things from Maya's point of view, the dullness of the sound, I thought that was well done. So, like, you understand what she's getting, and she doesn't hear any of this stuff. So you're seeing it from point of view, but you're hearing things from her point of view. Great job.
Yeah, it's just like thuds and muffled kind of sounds. That was really, really well done. One other thing I forget was the beginning of the beginning of it all. The first like 15 minutes or so, you're fully caught up with this character. They give you the backstory. They give you her involvement with Kingpin. They give you what happened with Hawkeye. They give you her connection with Daredevil a little bit with that awesome fight scene. So like the first 15 minutes of the first episode, you're caught up. You're like, I know everything I need to know about this character. Like, I don't need to go back and watch Hawkeye, because you really shouldn't. And and then like you kind of like get what's going on, and then throughout the rest of the show, they kind of fill in other big, storylines between her and Kingpin, and stuff like that. But just right off the bat, they catch you up and they do it in such a way that it's good, and you don't need to watch the other stuff, which I think they need to figure how to repeat that more often, because that can definitely save a lot of viewers, because you're
Well,
like,
I
you don't need
can't
to
watch
watch
this
it. We're gonna explain it.
because I missed this.
Yeah, yeah. So, um, so here we go. It's a few more comments real quick, and then we get into our bads. Brandon said, I enjoyed the backstory and how it tied to Hawkeye. Yep, I love how they were respectful to the culture. Exactly. I like how they did ASL. Murders in the Building did ASL episode that was done well, also from the point of view of the character. Okay. Yeah, yeah. When you do it like good, and obviously she's actually, as an amputee in real life, and she signs in real life. So this is her being her, kind of, with
But it's interesting how
adding the
they
character.
put that into the whole into the
Hmm.
character. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's got to be some trauma that she's went through that they put into the character of Echo. Like, that's not word beat for beat how happened with her
Yeah,
leg and all that stuff.
yeah. So like we'll go into the bads. That's one thing a lot of people are complaining about, is that this character is too different from the comic book.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't mind as much, but that is one thing that people are like kind of getting really angry about it. Like, oh, it's too different. She's not the character she is from the comic. But I don't know. What do you think about that? And then
They
what do you
they
got for
change
bads?
that things all the time, and they do
Mm,
that all the time. The Guardians of the Galaxy for the comic books are not the same Guardians of the Galaxy we got, in the movies. That's just things that they do. They take liberties for some of those things. I just, as long as you understand who the character is, and it's not like all of a sudden she's now someone who can hear, or they made
mm,
her a guy, or made her not Native American. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
you change everything about the character. That's different. I think as long as you respect the character, you could change. You can have some liberties. You could change some powers, whatever. I have no problem with that. Things I didn't like, I think that, the curse of only having 5 episodes, that you got very little Chula understanding
Mm,
her things from her perspective, why she would do that. Well, we didn't know anything what Chula was doing until the 5th episode. Like, nothing. And it's you said the thing between her and Bonnie. I knew it in the first episode, but I really didn't feel the connection that much
oh no.
because I didn't know anything else about Bonnie. Like, I
Hmm.
don't how she grew up. I don't know why what was she a police officer? She was a firefighter. I didn't know anything else. There's no other connection to Bonnie besides what I knew as a kid. And that her that Echo, or Maya loved her. Maya loved her, but I didn't know why. I didn't know how many times she's been in her life that she's been trying to avoid Bonnie. Like, I didn't understand what the heck that was about. They
Hmm.
introduced other characters that we had no backstory for. So it's like
Yeah.
some of that stuff was hurried a little bit because you didn't have the time. Um, I didn't like, so those things I didn't like. I I know people are hating on Kingpin. I actually liked what they did with Kingpin. Um, except for I was a little bit confused in episode 5. I was like, what is going on? And I had to rewatch it to see, okay, that she's using her power to be able to do this stuff.
Mm.
I have no idea how Bonnie and Chula could do that because Chula's like 75 years old. And okay, but whatever, I'm with you. This is a comic book, whatever. I could dig it,
Mm.
Um and I one thing I don't like is that why does Kingpin keep on losing? He's Kingpin.
Mhm.
He should win.
Mhm.
And then something happens where she gets away. Like, someone runs off, He should win some more often. It's the same thing I said about Jonathan Majors when he was playing Kang.
Yeah.
When Kang needs to be a great villain, he needs to win. And Kingpin should only lose if he's dealing with Daredevil or Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I like the main bad guy, the big bad guy, like a Thanos, doesn't lose. His underlings lose.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Which just
and he
makes him
comes to save
more,
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
like more, crazy. But yeah, I do agree with that. Everything, Brian said, I pretty much agree with. Even what, like, Xavier with the issues he had. I wish they would have developed some of the side characters. I do feel like they developed Maya
yeah. I think Maya
enough,
was pretty good.
but she's really the only one developed, like, and I get maybe you didn't want to bother with some of these side characters who we might not really see again, um, but then you got to develop Kingpin, you know what I mean? And I was okay with Kingpin. I wasn't like, I was like, okay, I guess, but I wasn't like super pleased um with it. I just feel like it was a very different version that we got from the Daredevil show,
Hmm.
and now that we're saying it's all canon, I was like, wait, where's the disconnect? And the only thing I can justify it is he thinks of her as like
His
a
daughter.
family member, a daughter,
That's
or
it.
he's a niece,
No,
but I
he
think more
literally
like a
said
daughter.
at the end, he said, cannot remember a time where I didn't see you think of you as a daughter."
Yeah, yeah, that's right. So that'll be the only reason why I would see he would not make logical moves, because it's already proven in the past with Daredevil, when people he loves has like issues, coming at them, he does things irrationally,
Mhm.
and very, very, very quick. It doesn't really fully think it through, and he just like, I'll fix it later. You know what I mean? And I kind of feel it was the same with this, but without the violence. He's like, I shot you in the face. It's fine. I get why you did it. It's like, it's like, here's some cookies, here's some wine. You poured the wine down the drain. It's okay. I get it. And
Yeah.
it was a lot of that. And he's just like, just come home and I'll make you the queen pin. And I'm like, you're really forgiving for somebody who shot you in the face, dude. Like,
Yeah, you
granted,
know what?
you
I'll
know,
be really mad at someone shooting me in the face, but if anyone could shoot me in the face and live the tale to tell, it would probably be my daughter.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the only like reason where I can give why he was so okay with it. It's almost like, I can take the beating you give me. Just, just come home when you're ready. Just come home. And like I said, I get it, but then that's the white part of, like, I didn't hate it, but also it was like, okay, I guess, like, but the next time we see Kingpin, he needs to be Kingpin. You know what I mean?
Full villainous kingpin.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
think about it, he could have killed Maya before he even got there. Like he
oh yeah,
called, it was like, stop,
yeah,
don't kill her
yeah,
right now. She would have been
yeah,
dead. Done.
yeah,
In the story.
yeah,
Credits roll.
yeah, yeah. But like, even with the ending of it all was like, oh, you didn't come home with me, so I'm gonna kill all your family, so you have nowhere to go back to, so you have to come home with me. And I was just like, again, like, okay, I guess, it wasn't the best plan, but whatever. It didn't fully ruin the show, but I feel like that's something that could have been better, a little bit, done better for sure.
I can't even give it a later. I'm between now and later. I'm
Mhm.
going to go be on the side of now because I just enjoyed. When watching it, it's not like I could just watch an episode and say I'm going to wait till later to watch it. I had to watch the next episode
Yeah.
and had to like. It's the definition of now, right? Because of I literally had to watch all of it right then. I didn't stop.
Mm.
You know, I'm in the middle of moving. I still was like, I gotta watch this now. So to me, I'm gonna give Echo a now. I enjoyed it. I thought it was different. The ending's different. Is a little bit different than what I would have wanted, but the show was what I feel like I needed it. I think it
Mhm.
did well. It was the first three episodes. It almost felt like two different shows. The first three episodes was very dark, a lot of action, a lot of crazy stuff. The next three were dealt with a lot of trauma, dealt with her past, and trying to reconcile or the next two, whatever, to reconcile her past to where she is now. And it's just almost like two different episodes, two different things. So
Yeah.
but I still give it now.
Yeah. Okay. I'm kind of there with you. It's hard to give it an hour or a later, but I was probably gonna go with a later, just because you can watch it later and probably not miss out on anything. Um, like there's no major spoilers really. I don't think. The post credit maybe, but is it though? It's like,
Nah, but
is
we've
it though?
seen it
Not
10 times.
yeah, yeah. So but I do agree with you, is once you start watching it, you're gonna watch all of them, because I episode 1 hooked me, which I was really worried because so many people said episode 1 sucked, so I'm like, okay, I like it, and then I just went down the rabbit hole and watched all of them in one day, so you know but definitely, if you're not in a rush, I don't think there's a big rush to watch it, but once you do, I think you might get hooked.